Boker Tov, good morning. Today is Friday, November 11th, Erev Shabbat Parshat Vayera. The whole week we've been studying in our daily dose of Torah the ways in which Lot tried and didn't try properly to carry out Hachnasat Orchim, generosity and welcome to the stranger in a place which was quite unwelcoming. But our focus was really on Lot and then how he plays his behavior. I want to stay within the theme, but look at a very specific discussion in the Gemara. Because the Gemara understands that when God said already the Torah describes already in last week's parasha, that the people of Anshe Sodom Ra'im v'Chataim la'Adonai Ma'od, the people of Sodom were evil and sinful towards God greatly. And it's a hard verse to parse because of the way actually the trope breaks it up. The Gemara suggests a bunch of things, and then starts off by in the discussion in the Mishnah, which says that the people of Sodom have no portion in the world to come, and they read it, and the drasha that's offered there, the rendering is that they are Ra'im in this world and Chataim in the world to come. God considers them evil here and will always consider them sinful in the world to come, and that's how you understand Ra'im v'Chataim. Another rendering is Ra'im with their money, Chataim with their bodies, or the reverse is offered as well. And LaHashem Ma'od, according to the way the one line of the Gemara reads it, that they know their master, they know God, and they intend to blaspheme and to rebel against God. That's how evil and awful they are. There is, though, a powerful rendering that in the Gemara which we should take note of, which sends a chilling message about the way people are. The way people are. Hold on a second, I'll pull it up right here. Pause for a moment. The Gemara references some verses in the book of Job and Sefer Eov, which describe a play. In the end, it was attributed to the people of Sodom. That Sodom is not just a place where the Torah tells us is Kegan Hashem Ke'eretz Mitzrayim, that it is so lush agriculturally like the Garden of Eden, but also there's verses in the book of Eov which describe it as a place whose stones are like sapphires. It has the dust of gold, and no dangerous animals come there. They're all afraid to come there. And so the people of Sodom said, since bread comes forth out of our earth, and the dust of the earth is like gold, why should we suffer wayfarers? Why should we allow any passers-by to come and take part in what we have? Let us abolish Torah. What's the exact phrase? Bo nishkach Torah regel me'artzenu. We should just not allow any strangers to come in. Because why? Because we want to hold on to all of our precious resources, which is such a troubling statement to make, because we know that when people have very limited resources, there are very difficult questions that you might have about what can we share and not share, how many can we allow into to partake when we have very limited resources. But if we are overflowing with resources and we are just want to hold them for ourselves, that's what we're told is the Sodom behavior, and something that we are mindful of happens in other cultures and even happens sometimes with our own possessions. So that's sort of this ethical factor that's described here. Their moral shortcomings. Let's just not allow strangers to come. But then the Gemara goes on to describe stories in which these became the practices that people, they would punish anybody who would let strangers in, invite strangers in by taking away their garment, for example. And there's a story that's told there. And then you arrive at this line, this Gemara line, but first the verse in the Torah. Za'akat Sodom va'amorah Ki rabba v'chatatam ki chabda ma'od. God says to Abraham in our Torah portion, the cry of Sodom and Amorah, it is great, and their sin is quite intense. That's how we usually read this pasuk. The Gemara offers a midrashic story which imagines something different, where the Za'akat Sodom Ba'amorah does not refer to the cries of sinful people, which you can try to imagine. Someone caught up in a sinful frenzy of one kind or another. Those cries, like we talk about the sounds that came up from the experiences around the golden calf rising up to heavens, right? That's not what we describe as the Midrash reads it, and the Midrash instead says the following. I'll just read this in English. A certain maiden gave some bread to a poor man. A young girl gave bread to a poor man in Sodom and hid it in a pitcher, because that was the only way she could even imagine bringing him out bread without getting in trouble. But yet the matter became known, and they daubed her with honey and placed her on the parapet of the wall, and the bees came and consumed her. Thus it is written, the pasuk I just quoted, Za'akat Sodom va'amorah ki rabba, says Rav Yehuda. Don't read it in the name of Rav. Ki rabba, as if it said riba. Riba means a maiden. It also means, by the way, it also means like jelly and jam, which could be part of the honey reference here. But the Torah is describing then, according to this midrash, it wasn't the cries of people caught up in sin that God hears, but rather the cries of a caring young woman who has been punished in the terrible way she was till she's consumed by the bees and presumably dies. Those are the ones that reach up to the heavens. Wow. What we are meant to see in Sodom is not just a place where uncharitableness is a norm, and even with they sort of between people, they would get you if you were kind to somebody. But no, going a further step, institutionally, this is criminal behavior. It's criminal to be kind. That's the presentation of Sodom. And in our rejection of everything that is Sodom-like, it gets to that, right? When kindness is a crime, a society is gone. And on the other hand, when kindness becomes a norm, and more than that, when our Jewish faith asks us not just to be kind because it's nice, but because it is obligatory. We care, we give charity because we get tzedakah, not because it is charity, but because it is tzedek, but it is right and righteous. That is our response to the evils of Sodom. May we continue to hear that message in everything that we do. Make the caring and loving behavior not just a norm, but an expectation, and not just an expectation, but a demand of our faith and our community, and that way we will merit the blessings that come in ways in opposition to what befell the people of Sodom. Wishing you all a caring and loving Shabbos. Shabbat Shalom.